What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sis-Lo Newsworthy Update broadcast, and this is your girl Sis-Lo. And today we are going to have a special guest, and as soon as she chimes in, or perhaps they chime in, we are going to bring them in and get them uh, to come in and chime in on the I'm sorry guys, on this stream. But until then, we wanted to just bring you up to speed on what's going on with um, with the world on today. Just sending out few little notifications real quick. Sending out some notifications real quick. Let me see here. And there's my girl. Here she is. Hey, Miss. There she go. What's
What's up? What's going on?
we is live, girl. We
We
live.
live. We live.
We live, sis. We live.
Yes, honey.
Well, I'm trying to send the link um to my sister, so I guess I'm gonna have to go. And she's not gonna be on the show, but she's gonna she wants to watch. But I might have another um guest coming in, and I will let you. Well, you will see. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it. And actually, a young man that I've been knowing all of his life. You wash your hands.
Yes.
I've been knowing him all of his life, and we all went to the same ministry together where we studied spiritual warfare. And can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me good? I hear you good. You're driving. I really appreciate you dropping in, and we're not gonna stay on here real long, but I want to make this stream y'all thing work. My sister making me grow up, y'all. My
Well, can
sister's
you hear
making.
me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I hear you
Oh,
great.
okay. All
So
right.
my sister from another mister is gonna make me be a grown woman at some point and really do this YouTube thing. But I appreciate her.
Yes.
I I
Yes.
appreciate her so much. I mean, she make me really like go for it and do the thing that I gotta do to make this vision come to pass. You know, it's something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and
Mm-hmm.
I just, for a long time, you always say, I'm gonna do this, or whatever, but you just never follow through with it, or you do it and you don't put your all into it because you might have some little um, inadequacies or something within yourself, and then you find yourself being like myself, finding yourself, uh, you find yourself being supportive of other people's visions because that's what you're comfortable doing, supporting
Yeah.
other people's stuff and not like so much as doing your own. I don't know why my little avatar is not showing up, but it isn't.
I don't know either, but that's how it was for me when I first started on my other channel. I was focusing a lot more on supporting other people's channels,
Mm,
and I was just like, you know what? Gotta grind on my channel, and in the meantime and in between time, support other people.
exactly. So, but I'm glad that you kind of really keep me motivated to go ahead and do. The ice cream has to put up.
You welcome. You have great
Hey,
content. That's
baby
what I like. You got great content, and it's
What else
original.
do we have this? The car.
I want. Oh, BBK, if you like to join me, let me know, and I will.
Hey,
No.
I'm gonna drop that link, and if you like to join me, just come on in. So, but today we're talking about, as you know, Mr. Eliseo Lee Bishop,
Yes, please tell us
aka
what happened with this girl.
Girl, aka Nature Boy, aka the Guru, the Baba G, the whatever
The,
you want to
the
call it.
Antichrist. The Antichrist.
Yeah, because he calls himself the girl. You better say this here. So this young man, hang on, Tanya, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Mess around and left some of my catering gear at my daughter's house, and she calling me to want to use it. Oh, I should
Oh,
have brought my stuff home, but it's
that's what I gotta do in the morning. I got some food orders tomorrow.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Mr. Bishop, as you said, the anti-Christian, because that's exactly
Right.
what he is. So he, just to bring everybody up to speed, he is a cult leader, and if you have anything, any knowledge of him, or have followed any of his social media, or any updates about him over the past 6 years, he has gone from Honduras to Costa Rica to Palenque, Mexico, back to Costa Rica, to back to the United States, after now being deported from all of these different places. He came back and he settled for the last maybe yeah, it was December when he got deported from
Was it Mexico?
from
No,
no
it wasn't. It
from
wasn't
Costa
Mexico.
Rica, from Costa
Yeah.
Rica, when
Yeah.
he was deported from Costa Rica to back to the States. So they made him come back to the United States. He settled down in Atlanta, and he and his crew settled at Mama Cookie's. She's
Mhm.
known as Mama Cookie. They settled at her home, and we're talking they're as much as 20 something people deep in her house, and they're sleeping in tents. They sleeping in rooms on the floor and top each other. Well, they believe in sleeping on the floor.
Mhm.
Um, and they're sleeping on top of each other, with each other, around each other, under each other, everything else for the last many months. So they decided that they wanted to go back and get quote unquote in tune with nature, and they decided to take their journey to Big Island, Hawaii. Well, they arrived in Hawaii uh, on or about June 9th, and some of them arrived in June 10th. And it lasted maybe every bit of 2 days before they were all taken into custody
Mhm.
for violating quarantine laws. Now, the first agreement, the first thing that they did when you come off of the plane is, and before you are able to enter into the airport, is you have to sign an agreement to uphold the 14-day quarantine laws.
Mhm.
Um, and this is mandatory for all visitors in Hawaii, for all visitors for Hawaii, excuse me, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
So they signed the waiver. They knew that the law was very strict as Hawaii is trying to keep down the COVID cases and the amount of infection and the things of that nature. And they are very strict about preserving um, the law, the
Uh-huh.
land, and the preservation of all of the environment and all of the things that attributes to the beauty of the islands.
Right.
So, of course, Nature Boy, being who Nature Boy is, decided that he did not have to adhere to the waiver, adhere to the laws of the land, and he and his 20 some odd people decided to go out to the beach on shopping trips, and even some of them were even spotted at a Black Lives Matter rally on
Mm-hmm.
the island. And on top of all of that, they dared to publicize it on social media, and they went live on social media and documented all their antics. And the news, the police, the authorities, the islanders all got wind of it. It was so quiet until now. They all got wind of it, and as a result of that, they were all apprehended and taken into custody and charged with not only violating the laws, but possibly putting the habitat in the endangered species at risk by touching the species in the water without supervision. They were not wearing masks or gloves. They were not taking any universal precautions
Mm-hmm.
to prevent being infected or spreading the COVID virus. So they were apprehended. So some of them, there were some 21 individuals that were taken into custody, men and women, and some of the bail was set from his bail was set uh at two I think it was $2,000 in the beginning, and once he denied to take the charges and he wanted to go to trial, they set his bail at about $4,000. He and some of the other individuals and um for the other ones, their bill was set at some $2,000. So in essence, there was about 50, $60,000 at least in bail money that would have had to been come up with in order for them to be released. So what they decided to do was his proud self decided to take a plea deal.
I'm at a
And
restaurant about to order something.
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Um, you want me to mute you? You can mute you out until you're ready.
Okay.
Come back in.
Out. Okay.
Okay. So come back in when you're ready.
Okay.
So with that, uh they were he took a plea bargain, and with the plea bargain he agreed to the leave Hawaii, him and the other members. That was the deal of his plea bargain, that they would be free and he would leave and he would go to back to the mainland, and the rest of the members would leave and go back to the mainland with him, um, had he taken the plea bargain, and that's what he decided to do. So later that day, he was released. The charges were dropped based upon the agreement. He came back to, they flew them back to him and two others back to Los Angeles. And from there, the other members were released and they also left and went back to the mainland. And so they went to reestablish. They got back on social media as he does, to try to convince the people to donate money because he said that they were in need of monies to find another place to stay, find another car. He has this song and dance about all of the things that they need because of his shenanigans. And so people start to donate. No sooner than they got back to the mainland, not even a good 24 hours before the second group arrived back to the mainland, his former member, um, who was known as Nefertiti, who was also Tron's direct for the time that she was there. Um, and her government name is Mariah Lynn Kelly, who was 21 years old from Florida. Uh, not even 20, not even 24 good hours after they released, she was accused of killing her mother. So it's at this time that not only has he um, led these people to believe that he himself is God and that he is the ultimate being, and it's because of him that everything is in existence. And he's the second coming in Christ, and all this, that, and the other. But now they're saying that one of his members is being charged with homicide. Okay, so according to the article, which was published in the Fort Myers press on June 18th of this year, 2020, a Cape Coral woman was arrested Wednesday on charges of homicide, accused of stabbing her mother. Police responded to the 2500 block of Southwest Embers Terrace at 10:04 a.m. for a stabbing, according to a Cape Coral news release. Officers found a woman with a stab wound, and she was transported to a local hospital. At 11:44 a.m., the woman was pronounced dead as a result of the stabbing, the release states. The victim's daughter, Mariah Lynn Kelly, 21, remained in jail Thursday with no bond set. Her arraignment was set for scheduled for July 20th. So at this point, Mariah Lynn, who was also known in Carbonation as Nefertiti, is being charged with homicide and in the stabbing of her mother. And social media became aware of it when her brother mentioned on his Instagram that his sister ruined his life by killing his mom. So there's a possibility now her arrest led to her um, after her appeal, not I'm sorry, not appeal, after her arraignment, they decided to give her a bond of $250,000 with a 10% payment of $2,500, I believe it was. And there's a great possibility that she could be released while awaiting trial for her mom's stabbing death. And um, so some of the conditions to her being released is that she can't go back to her home and that she cannot have any contact with her siblings. So The only question is, by her being affiliated with this group, Carbonation, and by her believing the things that they believe, was it good for her to even be given a bail? Does she pose as a flight risk? Is there a possibility that she may try to go and hide within the Carbonation cult? Also, how does this affect the already tarnished reputation of Alicia Bishop and Carbonation? Will this affect them negatively? Will this make him feel as if he has gained jewels in his demonic crown? At this point, I believe it will negatively affect Alicia because of the fact that this is going to first off. I believe it will negatively affect him because this is one of his members that committed this crime, and he will be guilty by association, whether he had anything to do with it or not. Sometimes just being associated with a person will make you appear to be just as guilty as that person. So the question is what type of things did they teach him? How would this affect her defense? Can she plead insanity? Can she plead that she was under the, the mental uh, control of another individual who said that he was God? And how could this be tied in? Now, I'm not saying that he had anything to do with that at all. I'm not saying that her being directly associated with him had anything to do with it. But what I am saying is the demonic connection is definitely a part of her influence of her reacting the way that she did. Now, according to a video released by them that they did on Instagram, they being um, Alicia or Nature Boy and Eliana, earlier today on Instagram, they sent their support to the woman that they knew as Nefertiti, which is Mariah Kelly. They sent their support towards her or to her, their energy or what have you to her, saying that you should always support the people and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter this and that. So with that being said, they showing that I'm sorry, and they also stated that they were told that her mother hit her in her head, and as a result of that, she reacted and stabbed her mother in the chest. Um, Personally, I don't care what happens. I don't care what has gone on, and me and my mom, God rest her soul, have had some really, really serious disagreements, but never, never one time in my life had I ever taken into any type of consideration of stabbing or injuring or hurting my mom, my dad, my siblings, or anyone, or my children. No individual. So that just doesn't cut well with me. With that being said, um, for them to say that they send their support or their thoughts and all of this to this woman after committing such a crime, it makes me wonder, is this some type of thing? Because, you got to understand, in order to follow Bishop, One of the things that he requires for people to do is to denounce your family, denounce the people that you love, cut off contact with everybody in in Babylon or the world that you exist in, and to prepare yourself to follow him, to take on his mind, to read, to listen to him, to his teachings, to watch his videos, to follow him and whatnot. And so he wants you to follow him and take on his mindset. So does his mindset tell individuals that because this is your Babylon family, that this is not your family, that carbonation is your family, that if you come into any type of conflict with your Babylonian family, it's okay for you to take the life of that individual? Is this what he's teaching? Those are the types of things that are going to come into question. But these are the powerful demonic things that cults can do to the mind of people that are not thinking clearly. Now, this man is telling people that he's God, that he's the second coming of Christ, that he's a Messiah, and things like that. So, with those things being said, is it a possibility that they are thinking that because this is my Babylonian family and this is what the so-called Messiah teaches, that we are no longer family, that he's my family, and this and the other. If I come into conflict with the Babylonian family, it's okay to take the life of that individual. Those are all the questions that could possibly come up and could possibly be raised, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. So it's a very unfortunate that her mom, who was 37 years old, and she had other children, that now she's been taking care of her other children from her granddaughter, from her significant other, and from this world by the hands of her 21-year-old daughter. And after she came back from an experience of being a part of this carbonation cult. So if you ask me, it just makes the situation worse. It just heightens the negative press that comes on this cult, whether they want it or not. There is nothing good coming from these people. There's absolutely nothing good coming from them. Everyone that's associated with them, there's some type of ill coming from these people. They have some type of illnesses, some type of mental debilitations, some type of history that they're running from, or something to that effect. And it is unfortunate that he's mismanaging the emotional intelligence of these people and misleading them into a devil's hell that he can't save them from. So, as we get more updates on this situation, and as we continue to follow uh, what is going on with carbonation and other newsworthy items, will come back to you and share those things with you. But in the meantime, I want to thank Miss Tanya had to leave, but Miss Tanya from the Hood Table, I want to thank her for coming over and supporting us, and all of the people that dropped in and out and will watch the replay. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and come back and spend some time with us. And until next time, we don't say goodbye, because goodbye is so permanent. We're just going to say later for now. I love you on purpose, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks for dropping in. This is Sis-Lo, the Sis-Lo's newsworthy update. Later, bye.